Hey guys, imagine having your very own private streaming service completely under your control with no monthly fees, accessible from anywhere in the world and syncing throughout different devices. Today we're going to build exactly that. You only need a Raspberry Pi and then we will be transforming it into the ultimate media center / torrent box hooked up to your television. And when I say ultimate, I mean it. This will be the only tutorial you will ever need. We're going to set up Jellyfin as the central brain to organize our library and manage all the metadata of the content that we have on our external hard drive. We'll build a secure fortress by running qBittorrent inside an isolated VPN container for completely safe, private, automated downloads with 2 built-in kill switches. On the big screen, we'll deploy Kodi for a premium cinematic interface while setting up Tailscale and Infuse so you can stream seamlessly to your smartphone when you are away from home. And the best part, it's all connected. Watch a movie on your television, pause it and pick up exactly where you left on your smartphone when you're somewhere else. It also supports separate profiles for the whole family, maybe some friends also, and everything stays perfectly in sync. Now this sounds too good to be true and of course extremely complicated, and basically it is. But don't worry. I'm going to guide you through this process literally step by step. We are starting right here with the unboxing of the Raspberry Pi starter kit, and I'm going to show you all the way to a fully finished setup. Plus, I've created a dedicated web page where you can simply copy and paste every single command I used in this video. If you even never touched the Raspberry Pi before, you are in the right place. You just need to follow along and do exactly as I tell you and show you on my screen. So, if you are ready to build the last media server you'll ever need, let's get started. We're going to start with unboxing the starter kit. If you don't have one and you're still doubting if you want one, you can say thank you, Matt, by going to my website, matttutorials.com/raspberry. This link is in the comment section or in the description of this video. Today we're going to create the Torrent Box Media Center, so click over here. There are 2 buttons in here, those are affiliate links. So if you don't yet have such a starter kit or the Raspberry Pi 5 and you want to buy it on Amazon, please use my link. I will be forever grateful, and it's just your way of saying, hey, thanks Matt for this awesome tutorial. So thank you very much. Also one for NordVPN, because if you're going to use it as a torrent box, you definitely need a VPN. Now, let me get this clear. I don't encourage you to download illegal stuff with your torrent box. That's not the reason why I created this tutorial. It's just to show you how to set it up and that everything works. Whatever you do with it, don't break the laws. All right, let me show you what's inside the box and what we're going to need before we can set it up. All right, let's open it up. It's very important that you buy a kit because there's a lot of things we need. Just not only the Raspberry Pi 5 itself. Look at this. This is the only thing, a Raspberry Pi 5. It's so small. You can open here. So let's go. This is everything. It's unbelievable, right? This is a complete PC. Everything in one. It is so beautiful. Look at this. Now I have bought the 8GB RAM version. So it's powerful enough to also process 4K video. Here are the output ports, so we can connect it to our television and look at all the media that we want. Now 8GB might be a bit too much. You can also buy the 2 or 4GB RAMs. It might also do the job, but I really wanted to have a fast Raspberry Pi, so that's why I bought the 8GB. Then we have the power supply, which is very important. It's a 27 watts USB-C power supply. You have to use this because a normal power supply from, for example, your smartphone will not do the job. It will not be powerful enough. Of course, USB-C, so we can power up the Raspberry Pi. We're going to do that in just a second. Then we have the Raspberry case, which is also very important because you don't want to have this board lying around. And also with this case comes a fan. Look at this. I'm going to show you that actually provides cooling for your Raspberry Pi. Very important that we have that. In here we also have a smart little manual. Inside of this is a heatsink, a little bit. There we go. very small heatsink, and also, well, these stickers to put on the bottom. I don't know what it's called in English, but it makes it, you know, not that it not moves around that much. Well, you get the point. All right, the first thing we need to do is install the heatsink on the main processor. We're gonna do that in just a second. So hold on. First, we're gonna unbox this baby further. What do we have in here is a 4K 30 Hz micro HDMI to HDMI, which is also very useful because normally you don't have these laying around. This one goes inside of your Raspberry Pi, and then this one goes inside of your television, monitor, or whatever you want. And then last but not least, we have the memory card, which is a 128 gigabyte memory card, which is a bit overkill for what we're gonna do with it. But, you know, it's just good to have this inside. The first thing we're going to do right now is to assemble the Raspberry Pi. So we're just gonna move this to the side. If we take out a Raspberry Pi, we can see over here the main processor. It's just a CPU. So you just put this off and put the heatsink on your processor. I'm gonna show you just like this. Paste it on over there. That's everything you need to do. Don't push it too hard or else you will break your entire Raspberry Pi. Just squeeze it a little bit. The next step is we're going to put the Pi inside of the case. Just do it like this. There is absolutely no way you can do it wrong because those things have to match, of course. Before we close up the case, you need to connect the fan to your Raspberry Pi. There is only one way to do this. You cannot mess this up. If you look closely, you see on the board the word fan. There is a lid on it. So we're gonna open up the lid. Just use a little bit of your fingernail. And there we can see we have 3 connectors inside of it. It will only fit in one way. So very convenient. And then we're going to close the lid. There's only one way to do this. First back, slide it in, and then you press, and then it's closed. Then the finishing touch, let's put on these stickers. Really tidy, as you can see. Oh, I'm doing a great job at this. No, that's an awesome job, but don't connect it to the power just yet because there is no SD card inside of it, so it doesn't know how to do anything. For that, we're going to use this one. We're first gonna put this inside our computer to add in a OS. Now, I really like that this memory card came with a small card adapter. This is really one of the nicest I've ever seen. It's really small. Make sure your memory card is inside of this adapter and put it inside of your PC. So the first thing we do is go to the website. Again, this link is in the comment section or in the description of this video, or you can straight go to mathtutorials.com/raspberry. We're gonna download the Raspberry Imager. Click on it, and then we are at the official Raspberry Pi website. And we need the Pi Imager because it's the quick and easy way to install Raspberry Pi OS and other operating systems on a micro SD card. Then we're gonna select the language we want to use. I'm gonna do it in English for you guys. And here we go. Welcome to the Raspberry Pi Imager Setup Wizard. We press on Next. We're gonna accept the agreement, press on Next. Where you want to install it, that's fine. Press on Next. We don't need a desktop shortcut. We just want to start it, run it once, and then we're okay. All right, let's launch it. Press on Finish. First, we're going to select the right Raspberry Pi device. This is important. Make sure to have the right one. We have a 5, so we press on Next. So for this installation, I want to have a Raspberry Pi OS 64-bit because we're running on a Raspberry Pi 5. Press on Next. You need to select the right storage device. In my case, the mass storage USB device mounted on E. Very important that you select the right one because it will erase everything on it. Double check this and then we press Next. Then we go to choose a host name. So just enter in something you can easily recognize in your network. In my case, Raspberry Pi 5. It's excellent. Press on Next. Now we need to select your location, and this is basically only for the time zones and your keyboard layout. Can be useful. I'm going to use the time zone Amsterdam in the Netherlands because I live in the Netherlands. Sure, it's Dutch. Press on Next. Then we need a username and a password, which will be very important during all the next steps. So we're going to create a username and also a really strong password. I would really suggest you use your password manager to create a really strong one. Put in your username over here and create a new strong password. Then enter your password twice and press on Next. Then we need to choose the Wi-Fi which we will be using for this Raspberry Pi 5. You can always change it later on, but it's very important that it works right now. Well, my SSID is actually hidden, so I'm going to use this one and I press on Next. Then the next question is, do we want to enable SSH authentication? It's a way of opening prompts even throughout your mobile phone, and you can just send prompts or commands to your Raspberry Pi. Can be very useful. We are using the desktop version, so just enable it right now, and we're going to use password authentication. And then we can also enable Raspberry Pi Connect. Press on Next. Now, we have walked through all the steps. Next step is to press on this right button. Now, again, you're about to erase all the data on your USB drive that we've selected. That's exactly what I want. So I press I understand, erase, and write it. This process will take a couple of minutes. So sit back, relax, take a drink, go for a walk or something. We'll be back when it's done. Don't skip the verification because it's an important process to see if everything has gone exactly the way it should. Then our write is complete and we can press on Finish. Well done, you have just created the Raspberry Pi OS. Get your SD card from your PC and then we take the SD card. There we are, take out your Raspberry Pi and on the back there is only one way to fit this in. Has to be like this. Put it in over there, don't apply too much pressure, just slide it in. And there it is, it has to be like this. It sticks out a little bit so you can always just take it out. Before we're going to plug this in, we need actually to connect a few things. I would suggest to get one of these. It's very useful inside when you're sitting on the couch. You can just use your Pi with this thing. It's very useful. To connect it, we're going to open it up. And on the back side, there's also a USB connector. If you get one of these, I would suggest to use it with Bluetooth because it works better than what I'm using right now. But hey, okay. You have two kind of ports on your Raspberry Pi. You have a blue one and a black one. The black ones are not that fast, so perfectly for a keyboard and mouse and anything we want. So just put it in over there. And then we also have the blue ones, which are the high-speed ports, USB 3, especially created for the external hard drive we are going to use to store all of our media on. This drive is already filled with a lot of legal movies that I have bought myself on DVD and Blu-ray and just exported it, ripped it to this disk. So we're just going to connect it also over there. There we go. And maybe you also want to add it in a dedicated mouse because these things are great, but this just doesn't work as fast as I want it to go. Then we're also going to connect the HDMI cable, which came with the kit. You have two ports on them. It really doesn't matter which one you choose, but there's only one way you can connect it. So put it in over there. And then this end, go of course in your monitor or in your television or whatever you want. I'm going to hook it up to my monitor so you can see exactly what I'm seeing on my device. And then the final step is of course to plug in the power supply. There's only one place you can connect it to next to the HDMI. There we are. I will record this screen so you can see exactly what I'm seeing and I'm going to walk you through all the next steps. There we are. This is the first thing that we see. We're trying to boot mode our Raspberry Pi. You just have to reboot a couple of times, so don't worry, all will come to an end. And there we are. This is now your Raspberry Pi 5. Beautiful. The resolution is very high because it's 4K. And for this tutorial, you can't see anything. So I'm first going to change that. Right click anywhere, go to Desktop Preferences. And then we just scroll down. And we go to Screens. Then you can see HDMI A1. Go to Screens. And then we're going to change it over here. The resolution, I'm going to change it to Full HD. And you can always change it back once it's on your television. You can put it on back on 4K or keep it on this, whatever you want. All right, this looks great. Press OK. Gonna press Close. This looks a lot like Windows. You can just press over here and you have a start menu. It's in here and you can just do whatever you want. What we'll be doing is going to internet and boot up the Chromium web browser. So you can click on that one. Then an application wants to create called a new keyring. We don't want it right now, so we press on Cancel. Now this works just like Chrome on your PC. You can just drag it around, double click it to make it full screen. In this case, we're going to my website. So you type in over here, mattutorials.com/berry. And now we don't have to use a keyboard anymore. We can just go over here to Tarnbox and Media Center. And there we go. The first thing I don't like is all these things. So I'm going to delete all these ones. I don't want them over here. There we go. Delete them to have a more lean and clean screen. I like that. All right, the first thing we need to do is of course update the entire system. So you select this one, right click and press copy. Then you open up here the terminal. Click on it. There we go. And then we press on edit and we press paste. And then you press enter on your keyboard. There we go. It's going to update our entire Raspberry Pi. Let me just put this on full screen. You can see what's actually happening. It's going to update every single module on your Raspberry Pi. Everything there is, from drivers to apps to, well, basically everything on your Raspberry Pi. So this is great. Let it just do its thing. And there we are. It has been completed. All right, then we go back to our website. And the next step is we're going to mount our USB drive using this command. This is very important. If you don't do this, every time your Pi restarts or you get a power outage or something, then it cannot find it and you cannot play your media. So it's a good practice to do this. We just copy this one, go back to your terminal, and we're gonna press on edit, paste, and then again press enter. All right, now we have the UUID. This is important one. So we're going to copy this, right click on it, press on copy. We go over here to Raspberry, we go to accessories, and we're going to use the text editor. Right click and press paste. Save this one over here. All right, then we go back to here. Then we're gonna copy this one, press copy. You go over here and you paste it in also. And we're going to execute this command. What this command does, it will create a folder for us with media/pi/films. Let's do this one. That's it, it's already done. Then we go over here and we're going to command this folder because the Pi actually needs to enable put everything inside of this folder, and this is the way to do it. So press enter. There we go. Then we go back and then we're going to mount our external drive. So we're going to copy this and copy it, and we're going to paste it in over here. Press enter, and we are in an editor of a file. This file shows you some part UDs, boot firmware. These are the mounted drives. We're going to add another one, so go back to here, and we're going to copy this one, right click, copy. We go to our notepad over there, and we press, and we're going to paste it in over here. There we go. Now, what we need to do is we need to copy this one, right click, press copy, and we're going to paste it over here. Your UID, press paste. Then hit back once because it has to be in the same line. Then this will make sure that our Media Pi films are mounted to our Raspberry Pi. So we right click on it, copy it. We go over here and we're going to put it in, but not over there. You scroll down and we paste it on the lowest one on here. So press enter again. There can be a space, there can be a break, that's no problem. And press paste. Now, what we do in here over now, we're going to write it out and then close this. How to do that? On your keyboard, you press Ctrl and you press O and just press enter. There we go. Now it has been saved. Now, when mounting this drive, it does not mean it will create folders inside of your drive. It's just a different way of handling things. Linux does things differently than Windows. So don't worry if you already have media on your hard drive, it's no problem. We're just gonna use this command. And we'll be using it throughout with Docker and all the other things. So make sure this is the right one. When you have saved it, you can press over here on exit, and that's just Ctrl X on your keyboard. There we go, we're back in the terminal. The next step we're going to do is install Tailscale. What is Tailscale? Well, basically it is a digital cable from your Raspberry Pi to your mobile device. So from anywhere in the world, we can access our content, stream it on our device, do anything we want with it, but it has to be safe. That's why we're going to use Tailscale. So we're just going to copy the first line, press copy, go back to this one, press edit and press paste, and then we're just going to execute it, press on enter. Now it's going to install Tailscale. It's going to download it and install it on our Raspberry Pi. Excellent, and it says exactly what we're going to do next. Sudo tailscale up, it's also in here. Sudo tailscale up, it means we're going to start the Tailscale. So just paste it in over there, press edit, paste, and press enter on your keyboard. There we go. This means it works. To authenticate, follow this URL. So we're going to copy it, copy this URL, just paste it inside of your browser and press enter. Then we're going to visit it. Then we have to sign up with Tailscale. Now, Tailscale Inc. is a company founded in 2019 by a group of former Google and Cisco engineers. Their goal was to make a highly secure WireGuard protocol easy enough for regular people to use without needing a degree in networking. Well, that's you and me. Now, it is free for personal use. You can connect up to 3 users and 100 devices for free. We'll only be using 1 user, and the way they make money is by selling it through corporates and big tech companies. So we're going to sign up with this one. It's completely free. And I'm going to press over here on sign in because we still need to sign up. And then we need to sign up with Google, Microsoft, GitHub, Apple, or ODC. You cannot use only your email. So for this time, I'm going to sign up with Microsoft, and I'm just going to use some email address. So I just have to authenticate it on my mobile phone. So let's do that. Here we go. And now they know it's me. So we are signed in. Perfect. Yes, I want to stay signed in. Let this app access your info. Yeah, well, I need to accept it or else we cannot move further with Tailscale. We're going to select one, which is the personal at-home use. What is your role? Well, I'm just a other guy. What VPN are we currently using? Well, I've been using Cloudflare, but also OpenVPN. So that's great. How did we hear about this one? Well, I heard because of YouTube, and we're gonna press next at your first device. Well, these steps we've actually done exactly to install this script. We've all done it. So what you do, you just hold this one down and press on the first one, Tailscale, because that's the exact link that we need to put in here while we are signed in within Tailscale. There we are again, and now we can log in, sign in with Microsoft. We've already been signed in and still there, so it should work right now. And we press on next. Now it's working. You are about to connect the device Raspberry Pi 5 to the Tailnet. We're gonna press on connect. The login has been successful. Excellent job. Then we press over here, visit the console immediately. Great job. Keep this open because we will be coming here later on. All right, the next step is to install Docker. Follow this command, right click copy, open up your terminal, right click and press paste and press enter on your keyboard. And now our Raspberry Pi is going to install Docker. This might take a while, so sit back, have a drink and enjoy something else. And then we're back in the terminal so that it works. All right, let's go to the next step. We are going to do this one, copy it, go back to your terminal. We are going to paste it in over there and press enter on your keyboard. The next very important step is to reboot our Raspberry Pi. So we're going to close this one, don't save it, it's not important anymore. Close this one also. Then click over here and press on shutdown and just hit this reboot button. And if you just want to change your Bluetooth settings, you can go over here, turn it off or add the device. If you want to change your Wi-Fi settings, of course, go over there, click on it, and you can change it to anything you want. It's that easy. You are doing an awesome job, so let's go on to the next step. We don't want to use this one, the internet web browser from Raspberry, so we're going to remove this, and we're going to add this one, the Chromium web browser, add to launcher. There we go. Now we can easily always start Chromium web browser. What this is Chrome asking you to set a password for a new keyring. This means that Chrome can store all your passwords inside of this keyring and that it's safe. So you have to put in a new password and confirm it. So, well, all your passwords are being saved. If you're not going to store any passwords inside of Chromium, you can press on continue. But remember, it will never ask you again, and it will be saved. If you store passwords, they will be encrypted on your device. So that's a security risk. If you do want to set a new password, you can just set anything you want. So for example, I'm gonna set a new password. I'm just gonna create a really safe password and I press on continue. There we go. Now all your passwords will be stored encrypted, so that's great. Now you can see immediately our link back in here because that was the one we visited. So we press on it and we go to Torrent Box and Media Center. And where are we right now? Well, we did install Docker. The next step is to get NordVPN. Again, why do you need a VPN? Well, you don't want the government or anyone else looking at your internet traffic, your ISPs, for example. So what do we need to do? You need to install a VPN. Now, this is an affiliate link, so thank you very much. If you buy NordVPN via my link, I get a small commission that enables me to keep creating these free tutorials just for you. So we press on this button over there. And then we are immediately at the VPN price and plan that fits you and me. You can choose the 2-year plan, 1-year plan, and even 1 month if you're not sure if you're going to use it at all. I know exactly how it is and why do I need it, because the last 5 years I've used a different company. I was not that great with it. You get, for this one, you get a secure, fast VPN, but that's not all. You also get a threat protection and 10 devices secured at once. So you can run it on your mobile phones, you can run it on your televisions, or I don't know, whatever you want on your laptop devices. And that's very useful. So we're gonna go with the basic version. You can also go with the plus version, whatever you want. I'm going with 2-year, get basic. You don't need extra services like a dedicated IP and an incognito. That's no need to do that. Then you need to select your payment method. This changes per country, but you can also, of course, use credit card or PayPal. Just fill in all your information and click over here on complete purchase. Is wel volledig anoniem, en dat moeten wij hebben. Alright, the payment has been successful. We press on activate Nord account. First, we need to verify our email and then create a password to log into NordVPN. And I press create password. Then I don't want to set it up for Windows, but you cannot continue. So to bypass this installation onboarding screen, we go to nordvpn.com. We press on login and then fill in your information over here. And you're logged in without the onboarding. So this is great. We're going to close this one. We don't want this. We also don't want this. I don't want this. Stop it. Then we go over here to NordVPN and we click on view details. Then on NordVPN, we scroll down, we go to the advanced settings, we go to manual setup. Press on setup NordVPN manually. Then we go to the service credentials over here. And we're gonna press on verify email. Fill in the verification code. You need to copy this username and this password and email it to yourself so you can open it on your Raspberry Pi. Alright, back to our Raspberry Pi. Then we're going to config our Docker. What is Docker actually? It makes sure that we have a container, it's closed, and inside of this container we can run and do anything we want. So in this case, we're going to force this container to use the safe VPN. To all the torrents are going through this VPN, but also our Chrome will go throughout this VPN, so no ISP can watch what we are actually doing, because we do like our privacy, and there's nothing wrong with that, nothing illegal about it. We just want to have our privacy inside of this container. So we're going to set up this container the right way. Now we're going to config our Docker. So we're going to copy this one, right click and press copy, go into your terminal again, and then we're going to paste it in over here, press paste, and then press enter on your keyboard. That's doing nothing more than just making a directory and go inside of that directory. And then we're going to place a Docker compose file inside of that one. So press copy, here we're going to paste it in, and we press enter on our keyboard. And now we are in the Docker compose YAML. This is an important file because it will tell Docker exactly what's going to be needed to run inside of this Docker. Now go back to the website and copy the entire Docker script. It's a long script and I'm going to explain you exactly what it does. Copy it, go into here and press paste. Now, this will run different kind of services. As you can see over here, we're going to start Gluten, which is going to make a connection with NordVPN. As you can see that NordVPN, now your username should be pasted in here and your password should be pasted in there. Then we have another service which is qBitorrent. We're gonna use that one to get any torrent that we want. Also is going to run via the VPN. And then we have Jellyfin, which enables us to use our smartphones and connect to our media player and to Kodi, and it will synchronize those two. And you can also use on our iPhone, we can use Infuse and we can watch them stream every media that we have. All right, make sure to fill in the password and the username in here. Then you're gonna press Ctrl O again. You're gonna press Enter to save it. And then we press Ctrl X to go away. The next step is to go over here and use this one, Docker Compose Up. Press copy, put it in over here. And if you now hit the enter button on your keyboard, you will see that now it's going to, it works and it is installing right now Gluton, Jellyfin and also qBittorrent, and it will work inside of our Docker environment. Excellent. The end results should be over here. Container is running, Gluton is running, qBittorrent is running and Jellyfin is running. Now, to see if our container is working flawlessly, it says now running. We can do a quick check to right click Docker PS and paste it in over here and also run this command. You can see now we have over here the qBittorrent, the latest is up, Jellyfin is also up and also Gluton is up, and this is important that it's healthy. That's the way it's supposed to be. Now, if you want to check if this IP address is now working, my VPN, go again to my website and use this prompt, docker logs Gluton, because now we can see the last 20 rules of our Gluton file. Here we go. The last 20 rules, and you're looking for this one. Public IP address is this, Netherlands, South Holland, Naaldwijk. Now, trust me, I'm not even near South Holland in Naaldwijk, so this VPN is working perfectly. I'm really happy with it. Well done, you have managed it to make it work. You now have your own container running on your Raspberry Pi with a VPN constantly connected to the internet. So that is absolutely amazing. Well done, I'm proud of you. Then go back to my website. What are we going to do right now is we're going to install Kodi, which is our media player for on our television. We press on copy, we go over here, we're gonna paste it in, and we're gonna press enter. There we go, now it's installing Kodi and it's already been completed, so that is now running. And if you go up here now, you will see that now at sound and video, we have Kodi running right there. I'm going to show you that in just a few seconds. I'm also going to show you how we can use this VPN inside of our browser, because some websites might be blocked by your ISP, but not by your VPN. So how are we going to do that? It's pretty easy. You go to your Chrome, we go over here and we go to extensions and we go to visit the Chrome web store. In here, we're going to search one extension and the name is Proxy Switchy Omega 3. There it is. We're going to use this one and we're going to press add to Chrome. Add extension and we press next. Then we press next again, done. All right, this is the configuration now. What do we need to do is we're going to change the protocol to HTTP. We're going to change the server to our own server, which is in the Docker 127.0.0.1. And we're going to change the port to not 8080, but to 8888. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. Then we're going to press on apply changes. Options are saved. And then if you then click over here, you can see proxy switch. We're gonna put it on here. And if we now enable this one, you click on it and we go to proxy. And if I now go to a website, for example, what's myip.org. This is not my real IP. You can also go to dnsleaktest.com and you can see, hey, hello from Amsterdam. Well, I'm not in Amsterdam. I'm not near Amsterdam. So this works. If you're still doubting about, hey, is this my IP address? Am I coming from Amsterdam? Are we leaking? If you don't want to use the VPN, just hit this switch and go back to system proxy. And now you are somewhere very close in the Netherlands. Just a quick demonstration of the switch. When I go now, for example, to the piratebay.org, you can see that my ISP is blocking this website like this. But if I now go over here and I go to my proxy, there we are. And now I can enter this website. Excellent. Now you can also use Chrome to bypass your ISPs and just go straight into the NordVPN tunnel. Well done. The next step is to configure our qBittorrent. Because you want to download some torrents, I get it. So we go to do that. Just make sure you don't break the law in your country. We go to localhost and we type then 8080 and press enter. Now you know qBittorrent is also working the way it should. Then we are going to save this one. We're going to save and we're going to bookmark this tab. There we are, and change the folder to your bookmarks bar. And we're going to call it qBittorrent. There we are, done. Now every time you need to go in here, you can press just on this little icon over there. Now to log in here, we need to find a password, and you can only find it using your terminal. We go to my website and we're going to copy this one. Docker logs qBittorrent, etc, etc. We go to the terminal, we're going to paste it in over here and press enter. There we are. Password was not set, and then we have a temporary password. There we go. Here's our password. We're going to copy this. We go into the qBittorrent and the username is still admin. And then the password, we've just got it. We press paste and we press login. Now we are inside of our qBittorrent. Now quickly change your password. You go to tools, you go to options. Then over here we go to web UI, and then we can change our password over here. Username, let's change that also. And then we're going to change the current password to something completely else. Paste it in, and then you scroll down, and then we press over here on save. Now, if you want to save this inside of your Chrome, that's possible. Just go over here, hit file and say logout, then fill in your new username and your password, and press on login. And then Chrome asks, do you want to save this password? Yes, sure. Save it, and now it's encrypted inside of your file. Before we go to the next step, we have to do something very important. We go over here, we go to advanced, then we're going to change the network interface. This actually tells you, qBittorrent, how will you connect to the internet? Well, we don't want to use the direct connection to the Ethernet or low. No, we want to use gluten. So select TON 0. If you've done that, it is actually a fail-safe. So when gluten fails or the VPN fails, qBittorrent will not connect to the internet. So that makes it absolutely perfectly safe. So that's a double safeguard. Inside of the container will also only connect via the VPN. And then qBittorrent is also again only connecting via gluten. If something fails, it will not leak out your IP address. Very important, and I like to be on the safe side. And then the last thing we're going to change is the optional IP addresses to bind to. Change this to all IPv4 addresses. It might work at your home with connecting to all addresses, but I've come to learn in the last couple of weeks that all IPv4 addresses is maximum compatibility and works the best for downloading any torrent that you want. Alright, make sure to scroll down and press on this save button. It's being reloaded and now all is good. I'm not going to show you where this website is, but if I want to download this torrent and I open up this magnet link, you can see that it wants to open an application, and I press on open, but it doesn't work with qBittorrent web UI. So what do we need to do? We go over here, we go to extensions, and we go to the Chrome Web Store. We're going to add in one more extension, which is the torrent adder. And then we're going to choose remote torrent adder with 4 stars. We're going to press add to Chrome, and we're going to press add extension. There we go. Just click on it. We click over here, there, and we go to options. We can add a new web UI. Click on it. We're going to select our client, which is qBittorrent web UI. We're going to call it, there we go. We're going to press on add. Now you have to fill it in this way. The host should be this IP addresses. Port 8080, then make sure to fill in your username and your password, and then we're going to use show per torrent config selector. Then if we scroll down, you can add in different kind of labels. Look at how I did this. How you do that? Just add in your label over here and press on the add button. And then the directories for torrent selection is very important, because when a torrent is being downloaded to the data/films/kids, Jellyfin will automatically pick up that new movie and put it inside your Kodi or your Infuse without you even touching it. Fully automatic. To do that, you have to create all these per torrent selection. Do it like this. Alright, then we scroll down and we can add auto label directory settings. You press on this button, add rule, and you can add in, just fill in a value over here. I just say kids. And then the label will be kids and the directory will also be kids. And you do this with every library that you have and every folder on side of your external hard drive. Once you have configured that, Let me show you what happens when I try to open a magnet link. If I click on this magnet link on some random website with legal content, I can see this remote torrent adder label. Well, this is not kids, this is for me, so I select Matt. And in the directory, I also change it to Matt and I press on Add Torrent. Torrent added successfully. And if I now go to my qBittorrent, and then it should start downloading. But if you see this downloading metadata and it's doing nothing, you go over here to trackers and you can see all of these things not contacted yet. It means that qBittorrent started earlier than Gluten or the VPN. And that means we don't have an active VPN connection yet. It's very easy to fix, but you have to do it once in a while. Just start up your terminal and we type in over here docker restart qBittorrent and we press on enter. There we go. It now is going to restart this service and it's up again. So we just refresh this. We need to log in again, logical. And then you will see immediately the download will start and it will connect to all those people who are seeding this specific content, and you can see it's working on everything. Well done, now you know what to do when things don't start downloading. Another thing that can be very useful is to work with categories. If you go to categories over here, you can right click on it and you can press on add category. Here you can add in a category, just a name, and the save path. The save path is very important because this makes sure that when the torrent is being downloaded, it's being moved automatically to the right path. It's kind of like an extra security because torrent adder might do this also, but it sometimes doesn't work exactly the way it should. So when using categories, you don't have to move them manually on your disk. You just change the save path. If you click on it, you will see /data. If you don't see that, just type in /data. Here we go. And then we just select the data. Then you can select your films and then you can select where you want to have it. For example, /mat. And the category will be, of course, mat. There you go. Now you press on OK and it will be saved in your categories. If you then download something, you can right click on it. You can change the category to whatever you want and then the torrent will be moved to that specific folder on your external hard drive. It works almost the same as the browser add-on remote torrent adder, but in real life I've noticed that sometimes it doesn't work that well and I have to use these categories and they always work. You can just start using qBittorrent. Excellent. All right, then let's start with Kodi. So we're not going to use this one anymore. So you open up your sound and video and you go to Kodi or Kodi full screen. It's whatever you want. I like to use the full screen modus because, as you will see in just a second, it will output this beautiful Kodi from Debian. Then we have to add on Spectrum. Press on no. All right, this is the interface of Kodi. On your television, of course, it is way bigger and it looks way better. Now, the first thing we need to do is we're going to add some extensions. Then we go to File Manager. We're going to add source. Then we're going to add in a name. Then we click on this one, on none, and we're going to enter in a new path. We're going to enter in exactly kodi.jellyfin.org. All right, press OK. Then we're going to enter in the name Jellyfin and press OK. There we go, press OK. Now the file manager has been added Jellyfin. Then we go back and now we can go to add-ons and then we choose install from zip file. All right, then we press settings and then we enable this one, press yes. All right, and then change the update official add-ons from any repository. And then we just keep it like this, go back. And then we're gonna press on install from a zip file. There we are, now we have Jellyfin. Now go to Jellyfin. And then we're gonna use this one, repository.jellyfin.kodi.zip. Press it and wait until we see it's been installed. There we go, the add-on has been installed. Now we're gonna do install from repository. We're gonna use Kodi Jellyfin add-ons. And then we're going to do video add-ons. There we go. And we're gonna use Jellyfin. Then we press on install. And it's going to download it and install it. There we go, the add-on has been installed. Then we need to select our main server. So we're gonna manually add a server. And in here you type in 127 again, .0.0.1, because this is our own Raspberry Pi server. And then we're gonna use the port, which is this sign, I don't know what it's called in English, 8096, like this. And we press on connect. But before we can sign in, we don't have a username or password. So we're gonna come back later to this one. Jellyfin for Kodi, we can do that later on. So we press on OK. And then we're just going to get back. So use on your device, go back, go back, go back, go back. All the way back. And we press here on exit. There we go. And that means we go back to the Raspberry Pi desktop in just a second. And now we need to create an account with Jellyfish. To do that, we go to localhost and then 8096. There we go. Now we are at Jellyfin. And here is our setup guide. So let's change first the server name to Raspberry. There we are. And we're gonna press on next. And now we can fill in a username and a password. So let's do it whatever you want. I'm going with Matt. All right, put in your username and your strong password and press on next. Here we go. Let's save it also inside of our Chrome browser. Why not? And now we can see our media libraries. Then we're going to click over here at Media Library. The content type is, in my case, movies. The display name should be movies. And then we can change the folder. So we press on add. And this is basically a link to the external drive, the root. So this is great. And then we press on OK. The content type is movies. These are the folders. And we have the library settings. Now, you can change the preferred download language, the country and the region. And then we have two different databases, the movie database and the open movie database. Let's keep it like that. That is great. And then we press on OK. Excellent. Then we have one media library. Then we press over here on next. Then we're going to change the metadata language. Also change it to the one you want and want to use. I'm going to change this again to Dutch and also the country to the Netherlands. There we go. Press next. Make sure that the allow remote connections to the server is turned on and we press on next. You're done. Press finish. Excellent job. Jellyfin just works. We can log in over here, press sign in. Now the next step is to make Jellyfin the brain of our entire media center. That way, if I stream something from my smartphone, or my wife does that, or my kids does that via different devices, Jellyfin still remembers where you were at that specific media file. So we have to create different kind of libraries inside of Jellyfin. From here, we click over there and we go to the administration dashboard. There we are. Then we click on libraries. There we go. And then we're going to click on this plus icon, add media library. Then first we're going to select the content type. Well, this is about movies. Then we're going to change the display name to parents, because this will contain all the movies that are not suitable for the kids, but only for the grown-ups. Now, then we're going to select the folder. So press on this add button. Now this is very important to pick the right folder. Then in my case, I need to change the folder to /data/films/parents. Let me give you a clear image on how this works and why we need to choose this one. If I go over up here to the file manager, you can see like this file explorer just from Windows, and it will show you exactly where your hard drive is. We have mounted this drive over here to media. Then we go to Pi, films, that's where we are. And now I am on my external hard drive. Again, I go to films and I can see these paths: Christmas, kids, parents, and Santa Claus. That's Dutch. It's not Santa Claus from Christmas. It's a Dutch holiday. We have all kind of children movies about it. It's weird for foreigners, but it's fun. And if I go to parents, we can see I have a couple of movies inside of this folder. So what I need to feed to Jellyfin is only this /films/parents. Now that's what we've done over here, /data/films/parents. After that, you press on enter on your keyboard. And then we have this folder for the parents. It contains movies. Excellent. Then we scroll down a little bit and we want to enable the library. Now the preferred download language should be on your language which you want your Netflix interface to be in. Let's go with English. And the country and region should be your country right now. In my case, it is the Netherlands. And if we then scroll further, we have enable real-time monitoring. Changes to files will be processed immediately. That's excellent. Automatically add to collections. Let's enable this one. And if we then scroll down, we can change the metadata for the downloaders. And all these things are excellent. So we just press on OK. Now you've added your first library for the parents to our brain of the media center, which is Jellyfin. Immediately, Jellyfin is going to scan our library for new movies and it's going to add them to the library of the parents. Great. In the meanwhile, I'm going to add in a new media library, especially for the kids. Inside of this are movies and the display name should be kids. Then again, we're going to do the same trick with the folders. We're going to add it in. Then we have over here the films/parents. And then we're going with films/kids. Perfect. That's exactly how it should be, because over here, when I go one up, we can see the kids. Then we scroll down and we're going to change the preferred download language. For this one, I want my children to actually be able to read what it's all about. So I'm going to do it in Dutch, because most of them are small and they don't speak English that well. And also the country region, we're going to for the Netherlands. Then after this, that's all we want. So we press over here on OK. Now your Raspberry Pi is working really hard right now. You can see on the top over here, the progress bar. It is indexing all the movies, all the content you have on your hard disk in these two folders. It first needs to identify the movie, which movie is it. Then it will fetch all the metadata from the internet and write it to the database. It will also download all the artwork, and that just takes some time for all those movies. But it doesn't matter, we can just add new media libraries if you want to have that inside of your Jellyfin. I'm going to add one more, which is Christmas. And then I'm going to add the last one, which is the Sinterklaas. And by creating different libraries, you enable yourself by not seeing all those holiday movies while we're not in the holiday season. If you now see in your library's collections, don't worry, it's been automatically added by Jellyfin to add in all those Star Wars 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. It will be added inside of this collection library to keep your experience Netflix-like and keep it clean and lean. The last library I'm going to add in here is the shows for parents. So this one is the shows. And I want this to be actually the shows and series that we as parents watch, but not the kids. So we're going to add in this folder, and it's called the films. And then the folder is actually called shows. So I'm going to press on enter. This one is great. Then let's change the download language. And then I'm going to press on OK to add in the last library. Once you have created all your libraries, you can actually see all those. Because we are now in the administration dashboard. But if you click over here to go back to Jellyfin, you can see in this menu, you can see the Christmas media, collections, kids, parents, and the shows. If I go, for example, now to my kids collection, you can see we have a very extensive amount of movies inside of our kids database. Don't get me started about those kids movies. Look at them, I already got them. And all these things, I got them all. And the beautiful thing of this in comparison with Netflix, I control exactly what my kids see. They only see the nice movies, the great one, not about all the things that I don't want to show them. So this actually looks really nice. I don't want my kids to see the parents' movies, remember? So we go to users over there and we go to add in a new user. The username should be kids. And we can use the password empty because I don't want them to fill in a password every time they turn on the television. And then comes the beauty of the library access. They only can see the kids library. And we press save. Just as simple as that. I also don't want them to have a live TV. I actually don't have live TV. We don't want them to delete any media. And we have to allow remote control. Well, then we press save because all is good. Right, we're gonna do this with every single user. So we're also gonna have parents. And I want the parents to have access to the collections, the shows, and well, that's basically it, what I want to have them. So press save. This is perfect. But if you also have your wife, you want to add in a different user, especially for your wife. Because then Jellyfin will save the progress of each series, show, movie, or whatever inside of her smartphone, which is very useful with Infuse. So, and then we have created all different kind of users. Now, if you want to give your kids, for example, also a different username because they all have smart devices, you can add them in over there. After you've done this, we need to install one more thing. So you go over here to plugins and we go to search for the plugin called Kodi space sync. This is very important because we need to sync it automatically to Jellyfin and Kodi. So we press on View All Plugins. Then we can see Kodi Sync Q. Click on that one. We're gonna press on Install. Excellent job, now it's been installed and you can see it has to wait for the restart to actually function. If you want to restart your Docker, it's possibly just go to your terminal. I'm gonna make it a bit bigger for you. Just type in docker restart Jellyfin and press enter. Here we go, the server at Raspberry is shutting down. And after a while, it has been restarted. And now we can go up to here and just restart Jellyfin. Then we need to log in again. Well, I have it saved in my browser, so there we go. And then we press on sign in. Now it's time to go to Kodi and connect Kodi with all the users so that they can watch movies downstairs straight from the television with only the remote control of the television, because that just works with Kodi. Before we do that, we need to get our IP address. So you open up the terminal, type in host name minus capital I. Make sure that there's a space in there or else it won't work. Then we press enter and you can see this is now my IP address running on my Pi. Now you will see different IP address because of Docker and because of Tailscale. So what we need to do is only select the first one, right click and press copy. And then we're going to open up Kodi. So we go over here, we go to sound and video and we're gonna open Kodi full screen. If everything is all right, Jellyfin will pop up and say, hey, you need to connect to a server. There we are. We're gonna press on manually add server, and you cannot use the right click on your mouse, but you can use Ctrl V on your keyboard. And then also make sure to add in a port, and that is this one, 8096. This is the port we have given our Docker installation to work with Kodi, with Jellyfin. So we're just gonna press on connect. Then we need to sign in with Jellyfin. So enter in the username and the password that we have created for Jellyfin, and then you press on sign in. Then make sure to use the add-on mode, it works better with external hard drives. And now we can add in libraries from Jellyfin to Kodi. Then we press on OK, and then we can see we have a lot of movies added in. Now this is great, but if I load in every single library, then when my kids turn on the television and they go to Kodi, they will see everything. Now the next thing is to create profiles within Kodi. So we go to the settings, we go to profiles. There we are, and we're going to add in a new profile. Just give it a name. For example, the kids has their own profile. There we are. And then the folder is just okay, just keep it like this and press OK. Don't change anything over here. We have the kids. You can change a picture if you want that. The profile directory is great. The media info is separate and the media sources is also separate. That's very important. Then we press on OK. And then you need to select Start Fresh, very important. Then we have the kids. All right, next one. We're gonna make every user again like the same as in Jellyfin. Then we need to set up every single profile so that it works with Jellyfin. How to do that? I'm gonna show you for one and you can copy it for all the rest. We go back. Go back, hit on your keyboard, back. We go back. And then we go up here and we're going to log off the master user. Click on this one. And then we can change the user. So we go with the kids, and I'm also going to set up Kodi so that it will automatically start with kids. So when my kids open up the television and they start Kodi, they immediately go to this profile. Kids, press OK. When we are logged in, we can see our library is empty. We can also see TV shows that they don't have, music, videos, all these things. We're going to delete all those to make it better for the children. Then we go over here to add-ons. There we are. And we go to My Add-ons in here. And then we go to Video Add-ons down there. Click on it. And then we can see Jellyfin and it's not been enabled. So we're going to enable this one. Just click on it. There we go. And we're going to press on Configure. We're going to press on Manually Add Server. We're going to paste it in over there. And again, make sure to use 8096. And then we press on OK. Press Connect. And then we need to connect with a username. We're just going to use kids, press OK, and then we press on sign in because we don't have any password set up for kids. Right, make sure to use the add-on mode again. And here we are. Select the libraries to add. You can select all of them because later on when you're going to add in more libraries to the user kids, then it will be automatically added and we press on OK. The only thing we need to change in here is go to sync and make sure that the Kodi Sync Q is being enabled so that it works perfectly with Jellyfin. Press OK. Here we are, we have configured it, it is running, and we press on back on our keyboard, and that's basically all we need for this user. Then we go back again. The last thing before we switch to another user to configure it is just to remove the TV shows, because I don't want to have that for the kids. I press on remove this main menu item. There we go. Also with music, they don't have it. Music videos, I don't think so. TV, radio, games. Add-ons is useful to change it later on. Pictures, videos, favorites. Let's remove that one also. And the weather, I'm also going to remove that one. So when my kids open it up, they see immediately the movies and they can go to titles, and here they can see everything we have. However, I want this to be a different kind of view type. So I go to view type and we're going to do poster, and we're going to order it by ascending. This way they can browse through all the titles just using the remote control from their television. Now I also want to remove add-ons, pictures and videos, because I don't have them in here and it's not necessary that they can see all these things. They can only break stuff, you know. So I go over here to System, then I go to Interface, you go to Skin, make sure that this one is on the expert mode. Click on Expert, yes. And you press on Configure Skin, and on the left side, Main Menu Items. We can deselect everything we want in here, and also we can go here and turn off the add-ons, the pictures and the videos. There we go, way better like this. Then we go back, and we go back. Here we go. Now they can only see movies, and that's exactly what we want. This beautiful interface. You can of course change the skin of Kodi, but this just works out of the box like this. It works perfect. For downstairs on the big television, it looks perfectly great. All right. That's great. The next thing is we need to do this for every single user. So we're going to log off the kids, and then you can go to any user you want and change all the settings like I just shown you. Alright, once you've set up every single user, the only thing we need to change is to make sure that it starts up in the right profile. If you want that, you go to your settings, you go to profiles, and you can see in general show login screen on setup, or automatic login on startup. You can click on that one and you can select the right profile that you want to use to start up. I want to use the kids, and that's basically it. And now when I start up Kodi from out my Raspberry Pi or my television downstairs, it will sync automatically to Jellyfin, and it knows exactly where I was with the right video or show. Excellent. Let's press on exit. Hey guys, this is Matt from the future. Well, after completing this entire tutorial, I run my Raspberry Pi a couple of days, a weekend, in my living room, and I noticed something weird. And I'm going to help you fix that right now. I noticed that my audio just stopped working suddenly during a movie. It just stopped. And after investigating, I come to learn that if you go over here, you go to your settings system, then you go to audio and you choose your audio output device. This is very interesting because right now it's connected through HDMI. As you can see, this is my monitor, the 4K 60 Hz on HDMI. And if you do this on your television, I'll show you right now, I recorded it with my iPhone. You can see that on my Sony TV, I got different devices. Now what you should do is select your television right here in this list. Like I recorded it on my iPhone, I just select over here my Sony television and all works great. But if your audio keeps stopping while watching content, then it might be that the pipe wire surface is competing with your own HDMI output, so that it just doesn't make any sense. They are conflicting, and that way you don't get any audio. Now you can fix that, which is pretty easy. You just go over here to my website and you copy this one. It's step 9, troubleshoot audio. This one will mask the entire pipe wire audio device so that it will never conflict again. So you go to your terminal, you just paste it in over here and you run this one. Now with this fix, it will never conflict again even after reboots. I noticed a couple of things that could be improved. For example, subtitles. Let me show you what the right settings are. I want the subtitles to be directly loaded from Jellyfin itself. How to do that? You go to Plugins. Then from here you go to Available and we click over here on Subtitles. And then we see Open Subtitles. Now this is opensubtitles.com and not .org, because .org just asks you to become a VIP member. You have to pay for it. So we're going to use this one, Open Subtitles, and we press on Install. Alright, then we have to restart Jellyfin. To do that, we just go over here to the dashboard and we click on restart. Click on restart. We just wait a couple of seconds until Docker has restarted the Jellyfin server. And then we go back to plugins and we go to open subtitles. Now it's active, you can see that, but we need to go to settings. Then we need to log in with opensubtitles.com. So you can create a free account there by clicking on register. Then you can just go on the right side to register and then you can create a free account. Then log in with your account and press on save. There we go, then we click on back. Now it has been saved. Then we need to tell Jellyfin which library uses which subtitles. So we go over here to libraries, click on it. For example, shows, let's click on it. Then we scroll all the way down, well, not all the way, but over here, subtitle downloads. There we go, we need to choose the language that you want to download automatically. I'm going with Dutch. There we go. And then make sure when you scroll down that this one is enabled. Save subtitles into your media folders. Because then every app you're using on your smartphone, you can use Infuse like I'm using, but you can also use all kind of free apps. They will automatically pick up the subtitles on your Raspberry Pi and stream it to your device. Press OK. And if you want to see if Kodi is already processing all your subtitles, you can go over here, go to your dashboard, and then you scroll down and you can see scheduled tasks. If you click on this one, you can see downloading missing subtitles. And you can already press this play button and it will go through it right now. If not, you can just click on it and you can see every 24 hours it will do this. If you don't want to do this every 24 hours, but every couple of minutes, that's also possible. Let's not do that right now, but I'm going to run it. So I press over here on this play button. Download missing subtitles. Here we go. And now it will start scraping all of our films, all of our content and see, hey, do we have the Dutch subtitles for all of these movies? For this to work flawlessly, you need to identify every single content you have inside of your libraries, but that is already done. Beautiful. By the way, if you want to see me how to rip all these original DVDs with the right soundtracks and the right subtitles in an MKV file so you can use it on your Raspberry Pi, just check out this tutorial if I've already created it, or else subscribe to my channel and I'll show you exactly how to do it on your PC. To make sure the subtitles also work inside of Kodi, you go into Kodi to the settings, you go to player, then you go to subtitles. You can change all the positioning and all these things, but you also need to do language to download subtitles for. You need to change this to your country and your subtitles you're going to download via Jellyfin, or else it doesn't work. So I'm going to click on Dutch and I'm going to disable the English one and press OK. And then the subtitle storage location is basically next to the video. And then also go over here to language, preferred subtitle language. You need to change this one to the right language. In my case, Dutch. And also the preferred audio language for the kids profile is also in Dutch. But of course, you need to change it to whatever language you want. Now it's time to connect our smartphone to Tailscale. How to do that? Press on Add Device. We're going to use a client device. We click over here on iPhone and iPad. We're going to press on Email Link. And we're going to send it to our email. Press Send. It's been sent to our link. On our smartphone, we go over here to the Tailscale email. Your download link is ready. We press on Download. Then we're being redirected to this page from Tailscale. Download iOS. Download it. Here we go. Press on this button to download and press on Open. Welcome to Tailscale. We press on Get Started. I understand. We're going to allow notifications. Allow. We're going to add the new VPN configuration. Press Install. We press Allow. Enter in your code. And then we press over here on Connect. Then we press on Continue. Tailscale.com. And we're going to sign in with our Microsoft account. But I've restricted my Microsoft account with the security key. So we press on Continue. And then we press on Connect. Here we can see we have my iPhone 17.2. Well, that's not my iPhone, but okay. And a Raspberry Pi in there. Now Tailscale is setting up a VPN, a tunnel from our phone to our Raspberry Pi. And we can stream movies and everything with Infuse. Now, what I don't want, Tailscale is running constantly on my mobile phone. It's not necessary to be connected to Tailscale every moment of the day. So we're going to create a smart automation on our iPhone. To do that, it's pretty easy. Go to your iPhone and open up Shortcuts. Hey guys, this is Matt from the future. Well, after completing this entire tutorial, I run my Raspberry Pi a couple of days, a weekend, in my living room, and I noticed basically there's actually no reason to use the automation because I tried it out and you could always just keep your Tailscale connection on anytime, any place. It doesn't have any influence on your phone, not my phone, and on your internet connection. The speed is great. It doesn't leak any data to Tailnet because it doesn't work like that. So yeah, feel free to just leave it always on. In shortcuts, click over here on automation on the bottom of your screen. Then we click on new automation. And then we choose app. App is opened. We press on choose, choose Infuse, search one, tap on it. When Infuse is opened, then press on search actions, search for Tailscale, and then we can press on connect over there. Connect to your Tailscale network. Show when run, well, you can of course put it on or off, it doesn't matter, because when it's not connected, it will not work. So just put it off and we press on this save button. Okay, when Infuse is opened, Tailscale will connect. We're gonna choose run immediately or else every time you get a message. So that's great. We're gonna create another automation because I also want to disconnect Tailscale when I'm not opening. So press on this plus icon. Then we go over there to when app is closed. We're gonna choose Infuse again. There we go. When Infuse is closed, then gonna create a new one. Type in Tailscale. And then we press on disconnect. When Infuse is closed, disconnect Tailscale. And that's basically it. Now we're gonna test it out if this automation works. As you can see right now, I have no VPN. I'll go over here to Infuse. I'm gonna start it. We're gonna press on. As you can see, the VPN is starting right now. Look at this, beautiful. So right now I am connected. We need to tell Infuse where he can get his files from. So we press on add files or go to settings. Then we press on add files. And then you can see saved share. We press on add over there. Then we scroll all the way down and we can see Jellyfin. There we go. Gonna change the name to just Jellyfin. Now we have the protocol Jellyfin. Now the address is very important. You can find it over here inside of your machines. You can see your Raspberry Pi. You see this address. You need to type it in over there, 100. And don't forget your port. Your port is also needed in here. So we press 8096, like we've done with everything. Then add in your username and the password if you have one for this specific user and press on add. And after a while, wow, here we are. Look at this. Now it's syncing and we can see, because I'm the master user, I can see everything. Christmas, kids, parents, shows, everything is inside my Infuse right now. This is beautiful. Now, when I close the app now, you can see that this automation works and the VPN will be disconnected. Beautiful. Now, is this awesome or what? Now, if you don't like this start menu, look at this. Programming, graphics. I'm not going to use all these things. Well, just go to accessories, main menu editor. Just click on it. Then you can just change anything you want. For example, I don't want to have programming, education, office, graphics, games, other, and well, let's do system tools and accessories because they're very helpful. I don't want it, and preferences. And then when you open up your menu, you will see, this is way better than what it was before. All right, we're gonna close this one. Once you're happy with your entire installation of your Raspberry Pi, it makes sense to make a backup because sometimes SD cards get corrupted or you do something and you break everything. It's just a good practice. So you go over here to accessories and then we go to the SD card copier. Open this up. Then you can select copy from device. You have here the external hard drive and you have the SD card. Let's use the SD card and you can copy this. Don't do it on your external hard drive. No, what you need, my friend, is another SD card. For example, like this one. I can put this one in over here, put this one in my Raspberry Pi. And then you notice, hey, a removable medium has been inserted. I'm gonna press on cancel. I'm gonna copy from my device again, the SD, and I'm gonna copy to this generic mass storage. Now you have to make sure that you select the right one, because if you start to copying it all over your external hard drive, your entire external hard drive will be formatted and you lose everything. So make sure you copy from your SD card and you're gonna copy to, in this case, the generic mass storage and press on start. press yes. It's gonna make an exact copy of your entire Raspberry Pi configuration. Well, it's just a one-on-one copy, and this works really, really great. Just make sure to have a backup in place so you can easily go back and restore your data. Another thing, before you go take your Raspberry Pi and hook it up on your television, you might notice that these icons and the start button is all very small. If you're sitting a couple of feet back away in the other side of your living room and you're watching your television, you cannot actually see what you're doing, but you can change that. So you right click, you go to your desktop preferences, and you scroll all the way down here and you go to screens. No, you might think that, but you go to taskbar. And in the taskbar, you can change this one to very large. There we go. Trust me, this is way better. And we press on close. The last thing I want to show you is how you can connect to your Raspberry Pi using Tailscale on your PC or laptop or even your phone on any place in the world. Now remember, we have set this Raspberry Pi up using your local IP address. But what you need to do is to create a separate IP address, a guest network, inside of your router so that your Raspberry Pi is not connected to your home network, because it is online 24/7, and in the rare case that your Raspberry is being compromised, they can go anywhere inside of your local network. So that's not a good practice. Make sure to have a separate Wi-Fi network, especially for your Pi. And that means that your IP address internally will change. Now, in that case, you need to configure Jellyfin. Also, again, you have to change the profiles to make sure that they connect to the right IP address. Now, to make a connection via Tailscale, of course, we need to install Tailscale first. So we go to tailscale.com and then we go over here to download. Then we go to download for Windows. So download it and of course run the setup, and we go to install Tailscale on our Windows PC. Then we press on get started. And we sign into our network. To do that, we're going to sign in with our account, and we press over here on connect. Then we have logged in successfully. Then go back to the console, and you can see I've now added my iPhone, I have added the iPhone of my wife, I've added the Raspberry Pi, and I've added my PC inside of my YouTube studio. Connecting to your Raspberry Pi is now very easy. Just click over here and copy the IP4 address. I've blurred out all these Tailscale IP address because of privacy reasons, of course. And what you then do, go to your browser, paste in your IP address and add in the port 8080. Press enter, and here we go. But how to add a torrent here? Good question. Just go to the torrent that you want to download, press copy the hash or the magnet link, go over here, press this link button, paste it in over here. As you can see, HTTP links, magnet links, info hashers are all supported. Make sure to use the right location, select it over there, and then just press on download, and the download will start automatically. It's perfect. Or if you've downloaded a .torrent file, because of private trackers maybe, you press on this plus icon, and we select the torrent file. Make sure to select the right path, and just press on upload torrents. And then it has been added to the queue, and it starts downloading. Now I understand you don't want to be connected to Tailscale all the time, and it's absolutely not necessary. To close it, you can click on close over here. But what you can do is very easy. Go to your taskbar over here, you click on this button, you can see over here Tailscale, right click on it, and you can turn it off by clicking over here, and then it will be disconnected. You can see the dots turn gray, it's now disconnected, and if you want to connect again, click on this button. And if you even don't want Tailscale to run automatically on your system, you need to unregister it inside of the settings of Windows. But with this Tailscale connection, we can do even more. For example, you can also use Windows PowerShell now to use a terminal on your PC or laptop from anywhere else to send commands to your Raspberry Pi. It's that easy. One thing you notice in real life is that Jellyfin doesn't always get the titles and the artwork correctly with your media. How to fix that? It's pretty easy. Just log into Jellyfin. You go to your specific media, like this, all the Transformers movies. Now I know what you're thinking, but I actually paid for it. Look at all of these beauties. I love them. I paid for it. These are the original DVDs and I bought them. I want to change my images, but if I change my images right now, I go to edit images, I need to upload them manually because this file isn't recognized as the right name. How to do that? You click over here and you press on identify. There we go. And we type in Transformers. And the year of this movie is 2007. There we go. You can also just enter in the IMDb ID. How to get that? Just go to IMDb, find the right movie and select this URL, press copy. And then you just paste it in here. Perfect. Press search. There we go. And you just click the right one, the movie database or the open movie. Let's go with the movie database. And we select replace existing images. We press OK. And now it downloads all the information of the movie Transformers. Let's go with the next one, which is the second movie, The Revenge of the Fallen. I mean, look at this. There is just something about having a physical product, right? That is so neat like this. Look at this, the box. This is just amazing with the real DVD in it. There's just something about this. I know, guys, I'm pretty old, but I still like these things. Then we click over here and we press on identify, type in the name, and the year is 2009. We press on search. There, we got it over there, beautiful. We press on OK. Perfect. I love this Jellyfin system. I'm going to show you how to create a collection inside of Jellyfin. Because as you see all this, we have all these separate movies. I don't want that. I want to fit them in one, and then you can click on it and then it will slide out so you can see all different kind of movies. It just makes it a lot cleaner in your interface. How to do that? You just click over here and we press there, add to collection. We're going to create a new collection, which is called Transformers. And then we press on search the internet for artwork and metadata. Press on OK. And then you see this, the metadata and the images has already been downloaded. And then we can click over here and change the images because I don't like this one. So we're going to change the primary. We click on this button and you can choose any kind of image that you actually want for the collection. I like this one. Beautiful. We press on this download button and then it will be added into your primary. This is just beautiful. Look at this. All right, then I go back. Then I'm also going to add this one to a collection. Once it's all done, you can go back to here. You go to your collections and you can see the Transformer collection is over here and all my movies are inside of that collection. Now the next step is also to make sure that this works inside of Kodi. Then inside of Kodi, you need to go to here. Then we go to media and we need to go to videos. And then we scroll a little bit down to show movie sets. And you need to enable this one. So then it will create the movie sets from Jellyfin and put it beautifully inside of your Kodi library. Let me show you how that works. Then for example, to your titles, you go over here to the Despicable Me collection. And you can see if I open this up, you can see all the movies that we have inside of this folder, and it just don't clutter your entire stream. It's just one image of the collection, and then you can just click on it and play every kind of movie that the kids want. Beautiful. If you have any questions or you just want to say thank you, Matt, drop it down in the comments. I'll always reply. I hope you could build your own torrent box media center. Let me know if you did. Drop it in the comments. I love to read it. Also, if you know a better way of doing things, drop it down. I always like to learn. Subscribe to my channel because I'm going to create another video about Home Assistant and Pi-hole on a Raspberry Pi. You can see that over here when it's already done. If not, subscribe and you'll get notified when it's done. Hope to see you in the next video.